to an investor looking for premium market opportunities, presenting premium and exclusive service for investors by Kalkine.
Hello, I'm Rachel Jones for Kalkine Media. Welcome back to another edition of Executive Corner Expert Talks. In this edition, I'll be speaking with Managing Director of Silica Sand, Bruce Maluish. Welcome back to the show, Bruce.
Thank you.
Now, firstly, Bruce, could you begin by telling us about this fascinating commodity?
It's an interesting commodity, mainly because we're surrounded by it all the time, all the products that are made from silica sand. But nobody ever thinks about it. It's not a well-known resource within Australia, and it's very difficult to research, mainly because no two sand deposits are the same. And even subtle differences in those deposits mean it goes into a different market, and there are literally hundreds of markets, anywhere from all sorts of different types of glass, and that includes automobile glass, flat glass that you got in your window, mirrors, through to engineered stone, maybe your kitchen bench top, plastics. Your computer is just full of silica in one way or another. So is your telephone. Everything from the glass at the front into the LCDs and the circuit boards within the phone, and also within the battery. Lithium batteries contain silica as well.
Thanks, Bruce. Now, VRX Silica has released new resource estimate for Arrowsmith Brand project. What does this recent development mean for the company, and what are the plans ahead?
Very long-term plans. Arrowsmith Brand is adjacent to and completely just to the south of Arrowsmith North, and that's our starter project. And it's one of those projects we've done a bit of drilling there. We've got a resource estimate in it, and we've applied for a mining lease. The grant of that shouldn't be very far away, but it's part of our very, very long-term planning. We've got an enormous amount of interest for Arrowsmith North. If we need to increase production there, we can do that from Arrowsmith Brand. But also we have a very good understanding of the environment that it sits in from our work that we've done at Arrowsmith North. So we can make very targeted surveys at Arrowsmith Brand. We think we can get approvals there faster, but we do recognise that approvals are taking a lot longer than we anticipated. So this is part of our very long-term strategic planning.
Now, your Arrowsmith North Silica Sand project seems to be the company's top focus for production. What are we expecting this year?
We're hopefully nearing the end of our EPA process. We lodged what we thought was the last revision before Christmas. We had a response in April. We've since responded to that, and they were minor changes to the final document. So we expect that document to be released for publication at some time very soon, we would think. And then it goes out for 30 days of public comment. We'll respond to the comments that we get there, and then there'll be a recommendation made to the Minister. As soon as we get approval, we're ready to go. As far as the engineering goes, that's all been completed. Everything from the exploration, metallurgical test work, process circuit design, engineering, all the way up to fabrication drawings has been completed. So the big expenditure has been completed, but also the program is ready to pull the trigger once we get EPA approval.
It sounds like a busy year ahead. And the Australian Critical Minerals Prospectus recently included your projects. What can you tell us about this and what the Austrade boost means for VRX Silica?
It's a publication that gets distributed by Austrade whenever there's a trade delegation to foreign countries. And since then there's been a number of trade delegations, more recently the one to India. What we find is that we tend to get a response from those countries quite quickly, and we've had probably 6 responses already from India requesting both foundry sand and also glass sand. So it's a well-respected document, and it's widely distributed by Austrade. But it also means the government has recognised silica sand as a critical mineral. And that puts us on the government radar, and it also gets us government support. Not seeing a lot of it at the moment, but it's there, and when we do talk to ministers about it, they do understand the role that silica sand plays in critical minerals. Now, the most critical component that they see at the moment is that our Muche project has a sand that is of the quality to make ultra clear glass, and that's the piece of glass that goes over solar panels. And as we know, with the government's zero carbon aspirations, a lot of solar panels are going to be being used. And in fact, that requirement for that piece of glass is in high demand. Every glass manufacturer in Asia wants to be making that glass, but you need high quality sand to start there. We've got that type of sand at Muche.
And just finally, Bruce, where do you see growth for the company over the next 5 years?
The one thing we do recognise is that Asia's running out of sand, and the demand for high quality sand currently being filled by, in China, they're crushing quartzite rock to make sand of a quality to make ultra clear glass. And elsewhere, they had been dredging good quality sand from freshwater rivers and lakes. And that's not sustainable. Chinese government recognises it's not sustainable. So there is an enormous amount of demand and a rapidly diminishing supply of high quality sand. We expect to fill that. So over the next 5 years, we'll develop as many of our projects as we can, and we'll start filling that market.
Sounds like very exciting times. Thanks for your time today, Bruce.
Thanks, Rachel.
And that was Managing Director of Silica Sand, Bruce Malluish. And if you missed any part of that chat, you can catch the full interview on our YouTube channel, Kalkine Media. So make sure to subscribe. I'm Rachel, reminding you to stay apprised and invest wise with Kalkine.